Hello, all you beautiful people out there. I hope you have had or are having a fantastic day. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Salim, the teenager who talks about teenage stuff because there simply isn't enough of it on the internet. It's been a while since I said that intro. It's good to be back after taking a week break because I kind of wasn't feeling the best, but we're back. And whilst we've been gone, 400 subscribers? Are you kidding me? That is absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much. We just hit 400 subscribers over the weekend and I was like, oh my God, what? I checked my studio app and the number went from that 3 that it's been on for a while to the 4 that it is on now. I can't thank you guys enough. If you are new around here, I'd appreciate it so much if you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It really helps support the channel and keep pushing us onwards on that YouTube grind. Anyways, for a lot of IB students around the world, it's that time of year where they're starting their IAs, and well, it's the most stressful time of year, I'd probably say, because summer for an IB student really isn't much of a summer because it's so jam-packed with work, university applications, IAs, extended essay, all of that jazz. For those of you who aren't in the IB and don't know what IAs are, IAs, they stand for internal assessments, and an IB student takes 6 subjects and they do 6 internal assessments, 1 in each subject. These internal assessments vary from subject to subject. So if you take a language, you're going to be doing an oral for your internal assessment. If you take a science, you're going to be doing a experiment for your internal assessment. If you take a humanities subject, you're probably going to be doing something along the lines of an investigation into a case study, something similar to that. These IAs are quite challenging and they're pretty difficult and they're also very time consuming. That's why the IB places a lot of emphasis on them, especially over the last 2 years. Because IB exams didn't happen, IAs made up a large chunk of your grade, so they're pretty important. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to pick an IA topic. Now, some of these will be more geared towards the science-based subjects, but some of them apply to just IAs in general, so stay tuned. There might be some useful tips in this video for you. Tip number 1, or the first thing that I kind of wanted to say, is that don't worry if you're stressed, if you're feeling scared, because it's normal, all of us are feeling that way. As I said a little minute ago, the IB places a lot of emphasis on IAs and they make up a large portion of your grade. I'm pretty sure in math, if you get full marks on an IA, you're already guaranteed a 2. Like when you walk into your IB exams, you're already guaranteed a 2 if you get full marks on your IA. So that's quite a lot of emphasis placed on this one project. And if you're feeling scared, that's normal because IAs, they make students feel scared. They're supposed to be challenging. What makes this a whole lot scarier is that if you have people around you who are making a lot better progress than you are with your IAs, and it can be kind of scary and intimidating because you know you're not catching up to their level, you're not as fast as they are. That's okay, take a chill pill. We all hit roadblocks, but we all get back up from those roadblocks as well. So you'll catch up. You'll get to that stage where you want to be, just don't worry about it. Tip number 2, which is something I wish I had done, is to start thinking of IA ideas early. Don't start thinking of IA ideas when your teachers ask you to, because by that time, it's probably a little too late already. I don't recommend being in a situation like I was a couple weeks ago, where you have a week to think of an IA topic. Now, a week may seem like a long time, but it's really not. To think of something that's worth almost 20 to 25% of your grade, a week is simply not enough. And thinking of ideas quickly, being forced to think of ideas, if you're forced to think of an idea, you're not going to think of a very good idea. It can become very frustrating if you try to think of a topic quickly. What I like to call it is sleeping on ideas. Give yourself enough time to sleep on ideas. And what I mean by this is start thinking of just basic concepts early on, and as you sleep on it, quite literally in bed, as you take the time to go from day to day, you'll be able to develop these ideas into fully fledged projects that you can actually do. Also, the more time you have to think about an idea, the more you'll have a chance to develop it and think of it from different perspectives that you didn't think of it from before. Trying to think of IAs quickly can lead you down a path of just picking the first IA that you find online as well, which probably isn't the best idea because it doesn't offer room for personal connection and it's not actually fun. If you're doing an IA or an extended essay that you're not truly stoked about and truly interested in, it's gonna be a little bit of a pain and it's gonna be hard to actually work on that IA over the summer. Like for example, the IAs that I've chosen, the extended essay that I've chosen, I'm all fairly excited about. So it'll make that process a lot easier when it comes to, you know, kind of giving up time to go have fun and focus on work a little bit over the summer. So give yourself enough time to sleep on your IA ideas. That's tip number 2. If you're struggling to find an idea, tip number 3 is gonna work perfectly for you. And tip number 3 is to merge 2 already existing ideas together. This is kind of a life hack. My math teacher told it to me about 4 days ago. If you find 2 ideas that you like, literally take them, merge them together, and boom, you have a unique approach to an IA that you've thought of. Well, you've kind of thought of, but it's still your idea, so it works. Now, this doesn't work in some situations and for some topics, but more often than not, you'll find that this hack actually works. And it's definitely not how I came up with some of my IA ideas. Totally not. Anyways, that's besides the point. A lot of the time, students just pick IA ideas that have already been done without adding their own twist to them, which IB examiners don't really like to see. So if you do manage to find your own twist and add your own twist to an already existing IA idea, it makes for a pretty solid idea. That being said though, tip number 4 is it's okay to do IAs that have already been done before. Or rather, it's okay to do IAs that haven't been done as IAs before and that have something called a literature value. Now, this is more specific towards science-based IAs, but if your experiment has already been done before by professionals and there is a agreed upon literature value, like for example, a literature value for the activation energy. If you do an experiment that tries to find the value of the activation energy of a certain breakdown of a chemical compound or whatever it may be, the activation energy of something, and that value already exists, that's great because you can dedicate a whole section of your IA to error analysis, seeing how much your value is off to the real value, and it offers for a lot of good evaluation material that you can use later on towards the end of your IA. So if the experiment has already been done before, that's cool, that works, that's actually a pretty good thing. You're not supposed to discover something completely new whilst doing your IAs or extended essay for the matter of fact. So sticking to something that has already been done and that there are already literature values for is more often than not a good idea. Tip number 5, and this is something I really wish I knew before picking some of my topics. Make sure that you have the available apparatus or any equipment that you need for your IAs in school. Now this tip, like tip number 4, is especially prevalent for science-based IAs, maybe math-based IAs as well, but any experimental IAs that you need to do, make sure you have the equipment. And this also applies for extended essay because, oh my goodness gracious, my extended essay we do not have the equipment for, so I'm gonna have to be very creative with how I get my results. It's not gonna be fun, and I don't recommend being in a situation like I am because it's very sticky, very sketchy, and getting yourself out of it, 100% not fun. So go ask your lab technicians, go ask your teachers in school if you have this equipment that you need for your IAs. Find out sooner than later, because if you do a lot of research on one topic, you have your experiment ready, and then you find out you don't have a critical piece of equipment, that's gonna be a massive problem, especially with all the deadlines that come up during the IA process. So make sure you have what you need for your experiment. Number 6, this will definitely help, I know it's helped me, is brainstorm your ideas. No matter how small or how outlandish or how far-fetched you think they are, write them down on a piece of paper and put them into a little cloud. And just leave them there if you don't know how to move on with them. Developing small ideas into bigger, more fully fledged out ideas is a great way to come up with unique topics that link to you personally and that you find interesting. So even if you think an idea won't work in the future, write it down anyway, because you could use some of your concepts or some of your thoughts from that idea into another one. It's much better than not writing it down at all. Trust me, for my math IA, I had an initial topic that I'm actually going to be doing now, but when I first thought of it, I was like, this is never gonna work. But I wrote it down anyway, and by writing that down and then looking at other topics, I was like, oh hey, I can use some of the ideas I have from here to just kind of build up this massive, huge math IA idea that I'm actually now doing. So write any ideas that you have down on paper and brainstorm them. Keep adding to them and keep developing all of your ideas, because that's how you'll come up with the most unique and most enjoyable topic for your IA explorations. Also, not writing anything down isn't really a useful way of showing your teachers your thought process, because your teachers are there to guide you at the end of the day, are they not? So by writing things down and brainstorming ideas, you're kind of allowing yourself to show your teachers your thought process. By showing your teachers your thought process, they can kind of see if you're on the right track. And if you're not, then your teachers can kind of just nudge you in the right way, because they can literally see how you're thinking. Tip number 7 of today's video is thinking of a topic with some sort of personal connection to you. Guys, unfortunately, picking a meaningless topic that you have absolutely no connection to is going to shine through in your writing. And when personal engagement is a criteria that you're being assessed on in its entirety, you need to make sure that your IA is somehow linked to you. Thinking of a personal connection is hard and often overlooked, and that's why people tend to score very low marks when it comes to personal engagement. So, just to clarify, the IA doesn't need to be linked to your life directly, but you need to be able to show some sort of interest in it. For example, let's say biology. You've always wondered why some soaps are better suited for cleaning oily dishes than others, or why some soaps are better suited for cleaning burnt dishes than others, and that's because some soaps have enzymes in them, some don't. So you want to investigate enzyme activity. There's your personal connection. It's a little bit of BS. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit of BS, but that BS is quite important in securing you the top marks. That's going to be about it for today's video, guys. Learn from my mistakes, listen to some of the tips that I've given you today, and your IA topic selection process will be made a whole lot easier. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on our way, on that YouTube grind. We hit 400. Let's see if we can hit 500 very soon. Thank you guys so much for all your continued support. It really means a lot to me. Hitting 400 subscribers, damn, I never thought it would be possible, and I don't quite understand why some of you guys want to watch me, but who knows? Anyway, guys, take care. Have an amazing week in front of you. I hope you had an even better weekend. And I'll see all of you later.